Levi's are to jeans what Coca-Cola is to soda. They're what Nike is to sneakers. When you think of the word denim, chances are you think of Levi Strauss. This 170-year-old denim manufacturer is more popular now than they've ever been, and that's why they offer so many different styles and cuts of jeans. And it's nice to have options, you know, slim, skinny, athletic, taper, but it can be tough to figure out which cut is right for you, especially if you haven't tried them all on for yourself. So in this video, I'll try on 8 different pairs of Levi's jeans from 510s to 505s and everything in between. I'll show you how they fit on me, give you my recommendations for which pairs are my favorites, and then which I think will work for various body types. For reference, I'm about 5'6" with shoes on and 120 pounds after dinner. Okay, let's get into the video. So here are the jeans that I ordered. 510 skinny fit, 511 slim, 512 slim taper, 513 slim straight, 531 athletic slim, 541 athletic taper, 501 original, and the 505 regular. To keep things consistent, I went with a lighter wash in every style. Now, my actual waist is about 29 inches around. I usually wear a 28 or a 29 depending on the brand and the cut, but for science, I ordered the same size in every style, 29-30. So let's see how each pair fits, starting with the slimmest fit and then working our way up. And I will tell you how Levi's describes each fit, and then I'll tell you my thoughts. So starting with the 510 skinny fit, Levi's says these sit at your waist and they're skinny throughout. I actually think these have a nice silhouette, but they're tight. I mean, they're uncomfortably tight in the hips and the seat. You can see that pulling across the front of my hips. I do like the shape of the leg though, especially below the knee. I'd probably get these hemmed for slight or no break because they are very tapered and I don't really like how the stacking looks. I might also size up to a 30 waist just for comfort, and you know, if I had to get the waist taken in a little bit, that wouldn't be a big deal. I'll be honest, a few years ago, these would have been my top pick. I've owned Levi's 510s in the past, but nowadays, I do want a little bit of extra room, so I'd probably skip these. Next up, we have the 511 slim fit. So Levi's says that these sit below your waist and they're slim throughout. I think they're a pretty substantial jump up from the 510s in terms of room through the hips and the leg. The waist doesn't feel much different though. They definitely have more of a straight fit due to less taper below the knee, but I really don't hate the look. Actually, I think if you hemmed these a couple inches, they'd look pretty good. They're definitely more comfortable than the 510s, and I would say these are a top contender. If I had to pick one pair of Levi's, just considering everything, style and comfort and fit and aesthetic, I think these would probably be my go-to. They also look nice cuffed, very clean drape, and a nice leg shape. Next up, we have the 512 slim taper. According to Levi's, these sit below your waist and they're slim through the thigh. So basically these are like the 511s, but they have a more aggressive taper from the knee down to the ankle, so a different bottom block. They are noticeably more narrow in the leg opening than the 511. It makes the 511 almost seem like a straight leg. They might even have too much taper below the knee, depending on what you like. I would say that with this much taper, you'd have to get them hemmed. I wouldn't want any sort of stacking or break. These are extremely comfortable. I think they're a really good middle ground between the 511 and like the 531s, which we'll look at in a minute. Honestly, I might choose these over the 511s. They're sort of interchangeable. They both look really good and they're comfortable. Okay, next up we have the 513 slim straight. These sit below your waist. They're slim through the seat and thigh, and they have a straight leg. I immediately noticed that these had a substantially longer inseam than the other pairs I tried on. It might just be an anomaly. You know, these jeans are mass manufactured, and so sometimes you will find these discrepancies from one pair to the next. Either way, the calf and the ankle have a lot of room. They're a bit too wide for my taste. It almost feels like a boot cut silhouette. The rise feels similar to the 511s or the 512s. The waist feels a little looser. I could probably size down to a 28 in this style. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of this silhouette. It does seem a little bit flared through the leg. I don't really know who this style would be for. It's not very flattering, and I can't really imagine a body type that would choose this style over one of the others. Next up, we have the 531 Athletic Slim. So Levi's describes these as sitting below your waist and being slim from the hip to the ankle. These are definitely much roomier through the hips and the thigh, hence the athletic description. They're actually pretty similar to the 513s, but they definitely have more room in the hips and the crotch area. They're actually really comfy. I find them more comfortable than the 513s. One kind of weird thing, the front pockets are oddly deep. I think maybe if they're made for bigger guys who take up more room in that top block, it might make sense to have bigger, deeper pockets. The rise feels a little low compared to the 512 and 513. It's more like the 510 rise. And similar to the 513, the waist is a little bit looser. Like I could probably size down to a 28. If I were going for a looser look, I would definitely consider these, but I'd wear them cuffed, which as you can see here, helps with a clean drape. And I actually think it looks pretty good if you are experimenting with like a more straight, roomy silhouette. Next up, we have the 541 Athletic Taper. So these sit at your waist and they have extra room in the seat and the thigh. Now, they're pretty similar to the last pair, the 531 Athletic Slims. I actually think the overall leg shape is slightly better because of that taper from the knee down to the ankle. Again, the waist is a bit too loose. I'd either have to wear a belt or just size down to a 28. The rise feels a bit longer than the Athletic Slims. I feel like vanity sizing is coming into play here with these looser cuts. Like I'd have to start sizing down as I went up to these looser cuts. I actually like the overall shape of the leg. I would keep the same shape and just need it to be a little slimmer all around. So maybe sizing down would achieve that. But these 541s would be a great choice for bigger guys who want something comfortable that can accommodate like bigger hips and thighs, but that still has a nice taper through the leg. Okay, next up we have the 501 Original. These sit at the waist and they have a regular fit through the thigh and a straight leg. Who knows what regular means these days, but these are definitely much roomier in the hips than all of the other cuts I've tried on so far. There's lots of room all around and all through the leg. The rise is pretty similar to the 541s. Now, obviously, I wouldn't wear these with a slim fit top like this white t-shirt. I'd wear them with something roomier and baggier and drapier. You know, it feels a bit off balanced with a slim top and baggy pants. But honestly, I don't think I'd wear these anyway. They're just too baggy for me. It's so much material and so much weight, it actually feels uncomfortable. I know a lot of people say that, you know, wearing looser clothes is more comfortable, and I agree to an extent, but to me, this is actually too much to be practical. It's a lot of denim. It's a bit cumbersome. I did try these cuffed, and I actually think the leg looks a lot better. It does drape pretty nicely. I can see how people like this style, but it's still a bit too loose for my thin legs. And finally, we have the 505 Regular. Levi's says that these sit at your waist and they have extra room in the thigh and a straight leg. So I actually don't really see a huge difference between these and the 501 Originals, despite the 501s being ultra trendy and the 505s being like old man jeans. The rise feels slightly higher than the 501s. Not by much, but I think it's the longest rise of all the Levi's jeans I've ever tried on. These are basically the type of jeans that I wore in like high school and college, which is kind of funny. But like if you look at them side by side with the 501s and 505s both cuffed, they look pretty much the same. In fact, I would say I prefer the 505 silhouette slightly. It actually seems a little bit more tapered through the leg, despite Levi's description of the 505s being roomier than the 501s. But honestly, they're not that much different. Okay, so that was 8 pairs of jeans. It was a lot to take in, so let's summarize. My two favorites were the 511 Slim and the 512 Slim Taper. For the 511s, I'd wear them with a slight break or cuffed. And for the 512s, I'd wear them with no break or cuffed. If I wanted to experiment with looser fits, I'd try the 531 Athletic Slims and wear them cuffed for that nice clean drape. For really skinny guys, like thinner than me, I think the 510s are a good choice. And for heftier, stockier guys, I'd recommend the 541s. These have plenty of room in the hips and the thighs, but they still offer that nice gentle taper through the leg. Of course, if you want to be on trend like right now in 2023, go for the 501 Originals or just get some 505s. They're basically the same thing. You can probably find them for cheaper and more widely available in a wide range of sizes. As far as I can tell, there's not much difference. Just a couple more closing thoughts. First, while it's a pain to order all of these clothes and try them all on, it's actually a great way to like really get to know a brand and potentially discover your new favorite pair of jeans. For example, I never would have known that the 512 Slim Tapers might be a better fit for me than the 511s or definitely the 510s. Of course, I'm hoping that this video saves you some time from having to try all of these different cuts. Maybe it helps you narrow it down to 2 or 3 styles that you want to try on. If you have any questions about Levi's jeans or anything else, leave them down in the comments section below. Thank you, as always, for watching, and until next time, stay stylish.